Today we're going to be looking at Magic the Gathering cards that get better with 100 players. We're going to start off with Blind Obedience. This was my card, but Christopher B also suggested it, so credit to Christopher B. It's an enchantment for 2 mana with Extort, which should be very busted in this type of format. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay either white or black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much life. So if there's like 100 players around you, well, they're going to all get drained for 1 life, but you're going to gain 100. That's absolutely sick. I should make mention, though, this is probably the most dangerous, maybe the worst card you could play versus like 100 extra players. Because, like, it has the ability, artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. So if you put this in play, everyone's going to be like, okay, that guy. Let's all gang up on this person. You might be dead in, like, 2 turns. All right, next up. We're, technically, Damnation counts. Everyone's going to be... I'm sure in the battle of 100-plus players, everyone's like, does anyone have a sweeper? Anybody? Come on, we need a sweeper. Okay, we need another sweeper. We need another sweeper. We need an unlimited cards that say destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Frankly, probably all the Wraths are going to be good. Argentina with Siphon Mind. What does this card do? I would love to see a 100-player Commander game. Command Zone's got to make that happen or something. Siphon Mind. It's a 4-mana sorcery. Each other player discards a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. This is insane. You might... Hold on. No, this is terrible. Hold on. Wait. This actually is bad. Well, I shouldn't say it's not disqualified, but you'll deck yourself. It says you draw a card for each card discarded this way. You will deck yourself. It will be GG. So this is actually a card that technically gets worse with 100-plus players, not better. Because I mean, okay, do you know what? I take it back. You could build your deck with like 1,000 cards in it. That's possible. Actually, okay, I take it back. Maybe this card is better. There's no limit, except for Commander. There's no limit in the other formats how many cards are in your deck. You can have 1,000, you have 2,000 cards, and you can put Siphon Mind in that type of deck. Okay, next up. Draw 99 bottom text. So yeah, something like that. So it's bad in Commander. So if you have a Commander game, this card's terrible. If you were playing any other format of Magic, card could be good. Card be great. Yeah, use a when you deck out, you win the game card. Okay, that could work. I mean, yeah, I guess this could also be a combo card. Another combo card with Laboratory Maniac. Tabashel with Chancellor of the Dross. Chancellor of the Dross. Yeah, how about you annoy it? Do you gain life, actually, from this one? So you do gain life. Okay, you can reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of the first upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. That is sick. It's also got flying and lifelink. What you have to do is reveal it, and what? You're going to start the game at, what, 300 life? That's not bad. Although I have to admit, if there's like 100 players, they could probably, they could probably take down 300 life if they really, really, really had to. Elixir with the first super chat. Thank you very much, Elixir. Root Weaver Druid. Let's take a look at this Druid card. Yeah, it fascinates me. Magic was meant... I want to say Magic was meant to be multiplayer. To expand to as many players as you want. I've played with 8-player games before. And that's just... These cards get better the more players are at the table. Root Weaver Druid is a 3-mana 2/1 elf druid. Enters the battlefield. Each opponent may search their library for up to 3 basic land cards. They each put one of those cards onto the battlefield tapped under your control. Oh my god! And the rest on onto the battlefield tapped under their control. Then each player who searches their library this way shuffles it. This is like the greatest ramp card in the history of ramp cards. Does anything else compare to this? I mean, it's just wild. Imagine starting the game with 100 lands. Hold on, they may? No! They may search their library for up to 3 base. Oh, because they can get nothing. Ah, that's too bad. Ends up doing nothing. Why, yes, I'd like 100 lands, please. Nah, but they won't do it. Everyone will just agree. Okay, yeah, you can have a 2/1 creature. That's good. So hold on, for up to 3 each. Yeah, so if I get, you know what though? People are greedy as hell. They're just so greedy. I would bet a lot of people would still get the land. You may not get 100 lands. There's always going to be people at the tables like, yeah, but I need this land so badly. Like, I kept a 1-lander. All right, I need this. If I don't get this land, my deck doesn't function. And so the person who plays the Root Weaver Druid probably going to get like 35 lands out of it. I swear. Allocations, my 99 friends. It might be early, but this guy might be the arch enemy. Yeah. might be. Toilet Duck with Adeline. Resplendent Cathar. Ooh, yeah, you make an army out of this thing. So vigilance power is equal to the number of creatures you control. And whenever you attack, for each opponent, you create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. I would actually bet that this card would not get too out of control, just based on the fact that someone should have something out to chump block a lot of the 1/1s. Not everyone's going to have a creature out. Most people will, so it will probably keep Adeline somewhat in under control. Dinglebag with Consuming Aberration. This is a bulk mythic, I think, if I remember correctly. It's a bulk something. Consuming Aberration, 5 mana star horror. The power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts those cards into their graveyard. This thing is going to be enormous. It's going to be like a 500, easily just one-shot everybody. I wonder if there's 100 players at the table, should the life totals increase? Because there's going to be tons of these cards that are just going to one-shot people all the time. This is not going to be the only card. It's not going to be the only card. In 100-player Magic, probably everyone should have like 200 life or something like that. Next up, we got a super chat from Matthew Green. The Expropriate. Oh my god, is this a voting card? Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. Oh my god. Talk about, anytime you have to vote for something. I mean, unless everyone created an app to like automatically vote for things very easily. I bet this is like ungodly terrible to keep track of for 100 players. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. This card is just absolutely miserable. This is the worst thing I want to see at the table. I didn't even think of the concept of one player taking extra turns. I imagine if one person plays Expropriate in a 100-player game, that like a huge chunk of the table will just say, "Okay, I quit. I'm never gonna get to my turn. It's just never gonna happen." The odds someone else doesn't play Expropriate by the time it gets to me. Commander with double the players have double life, so 100 players should have 50x life at 1,000 life points. What a game. Okay, Lewis, breach the multiverse. 7 mana sorcery. Each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Then each creature you control becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. Very strong card. Spectral Maniac. Teferi, Master of Time. This is enough. Oh, this is a card that you can tick up loyalty or play loyalty turns. Okay, you may. Oh my god, you may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn. Anytime you could play an instant. If you play this like turn 1, it might be just GG. The game might be over. So +1, draw a card, then discard a card. -3. This is not relevant. Target creature you control, target creature you don't control phases out. But then you have this -10. Take 2 extra turns after this one. You'll get effectively, if there's 100 players at the table, if you get this out on turn 1, and I assume no one can deal with it very early. I mean, it's possible. You're gonna get like what? 2 times 10, 20 extra turns. No, that's not right. No, hold on. Okay, my math is a bit wrong because we have to go to 11 loyalty at least once. You're going to get a lot of extra turns by the time it gets back to you. It's a pretty sick card. Okay, Beanpot with Belb. Corrupting Observer. For anyone watching the replay, what's the most broken card you think you've seen in this stream? A 2-mana 2/2. At the beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, that player adds double colorless for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. This is gonna create absolute chaos. Each player's post-combat phase, they get extra mana for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. Damage causes loss of life. So this may not help you, but this is definitely going to be like a very, I don't even have to say it's a political card. It's going to create chaos. Everyone's going to have extra mana. Next we got Chris with Elminster's Simulacrum. It's a 6-mana instant. For each opponent, you create a token. That's a copy of up to 1 target creature that player controls. Oh, we get a creature for everybody. I will say you have to wait long enough for everybody to have a creature on the battlefield, but you will. You better be heavily invested in what's it called? I can never remember the brand. Those sketch cards. You know, the blank cards where you like use a marker to create your own tokens. You have to be deeply invested in those cards because you're going to need 100 of them. And you're gonna go through markers like crazy in order to make those cards. Okay, next up, we got a super chat from John, Sylvan Primordial. I always think that this is a banned card. Oh, it is banned in Commander. But 100 players, it's probably legal. 7 mana, or it's probably not. 7 mana for a 6/8 avatar. Reach, enter the battlefield for each opponent. Destroy target non-creature permanent that player controls. For each permanent destroyed this way, search your library for a force card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. Ha! There's no may around this one. We're getting some forests around here. A Blackbird, Indulging Patrician. Was it called Infinitokens or something like that? Something like that. We have a 3-mana 1/4 Vampire Noble, Flying Lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life this turn. Truth be told, this is probably one of the weaker interactions of all these incredibly broken cards. To be perfectly honest. Just play Rhystic Study. I mean, it gets so much better even with 4 people at the table. Why wouldn't it get better with like 1 million people at the table? Alan with Share the Spoils. Oops, I wrote Share the Spills. I don't want to share spills. Okay, 2-mana enchantment. When Share the Spoils enters the battlefield or an opponent loses the game, exile the top card of each player's library. During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled with Share the Spoils, and they may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. When they do, exile the top card of their library. This is an interesting card. This sort of accelerates the game, so as people lose, like, people are getting more card advantage, and actually increases the chances of other people losing. So, like, the game speeds up. It's not going to slow down. We're going only one direction, and that is x to the power of 1.1, which is higher than 1. No! I'm not looking up Shahrazad. That does not get... I do not know if that card actually gets better. That card, it's debatable. That's highly, highly debatable. Bryce with a Tally, Primal Conqueror. I don't know how many times I've looked this card up and I still don't know what it does. ETB, it's trample. ETB, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. So that's big value. What's the transformation? Trample, indestructible. Interestingly enough, I actually think the backside gets weaker. So when it deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. Like, you have no power here, Itali. Okay, you can one-shot someone. Like, a lot of other cards can actually one-shot someone in this world. In this crazy, crazy world. Lord Jeraxus. Xenos Yay Galvus, a new Final Fantasy card. Specifically, the flip side. Let's take a look at the other side of this, called Shinru, Transcendent Rival, an 8/8 flyer. As this creature transforms into Shinru, choose an opponent. Burning Chains. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. Oh, yeah, you're actually right. As this creature transforms, choose an opponent. Can you transform at instant speed? Enters, choose, until end of turn, creatures other than blah, blah, blah. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield. Oh, yeah, so you choose a creature. I wonder if there's a way to flash this in play, then kill the creature, flip this thing as someone is dying. Like someone is getting presented lethal, like from an Itali Primal Sickness or something. Because this would just be a really quick, cheap shot way of winning the game in one shot. How about Braids, Arisen Nightmare? Let's take a look. 3 mana, 3/3 Nightmare. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life, and you draw a card. You have to draw a card. Actually, this could be so how does this work? At the beginning of your end step, you may sack an artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice permanent. For each opponent who doesn't, so they have the option to deck you. So this is actually could be a weird situation where the card backfires on you because you're forced to draw your entire deck. So just imagine you play Braids. You know, go to your end step, and everyone's like, I'm not sacking anything. You lose. Good day, sir. So actually, this is a rare situation where I actually think this card actually gets worse multiplayer. Because everyone's just going to take the 2 life and say, okay, so long. So long, sucker. Okay, next super chat. Rated Lex with Shiri. All creatures come back 100 times with ETBs. Really? So we have 5 mana, 2/2. Whenever a creature with power 1 or less is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step if Shirei Shizu's Caretaker is still on the battlefield. Whenever a creature with power 1 or less is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may return that card to the battlefield. I don't understand how that helps. With 100 players. What was the explanation again? There was some sort of explanation here. All creatures come back 100 times with ETBs. Whenever a creature with power 1 or less is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, I see. If you have a sack outlet. Okay, I get it. Okay, so I was missing that you want to sacrifice the creature over and over and over again. Okay, that works. Yeah, so it's at next end step. But I was like, well, what are you going to do at the next end step? Okay, so if you're constantly sacking the thing, you constantly come back. Yogman with Thrilling Encore. Put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards and all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. So it'd be great in response to Damnation. Yeah, so as people play sweepers, this is your response. But imagine it's at instant speed. Imagine other people are also going to play their own Thrilling Encore. This is where like priority is going to really matter. Oh my god, trying to pass priority in a 100-player game. It's like I pass priority, I pass priority, I pass priority, I pass priority. Because you don't want to be the first person to play Thrilling Encore. You sort of want to be like, I don't know, maybe the third if everyone has a bunch of mana up. Next up, Alan with the Horus Heresy. 6 mana for Saga. Chapter 1. For each opponent, gain control of up to one target non-legendary creature that player controls for as long as the Horus Heresy remains on the battlefield. And then Chapter 2. Draw a card for each creature you control but don't own. That's bad! Okay, it's probably going to be fine in this. Oh, I keep forgetting. You can have an unlimited library. Yeah, okay, so this is still good. Okay, we're not restricted to 100 cards. Chapter 3. Starting with you, each player chooses a creature. Destroy each creature chosen this way. Sick card. Whenever I read, like, you're going to draw, like, a billion cards, like, I'm going to have enough library for this? The deck is going to really suck, unless you can really fill it with a ton of these types of cards. Evan with Legion Loyalty. Eight mana enchantment. Creatures you control have Myriad. Yeah, you're gonna come out swinging against everybody. No, when you attack one, you attack all. Be careful. Cards like this, everyone's gonna be like, okay, gang up on that guy. Oh, you could say the same, I guess, about every single card on today's show. Matthew Green, with you count Cardor Doom Scourge. Let's see. Cardor Doom Scourge. Sort of a new card. 4 mana, 4/3 Demon Berserker. When it enters until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able and attack a player other than you if able. That's awesome. And whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh, this absolutely works. Fantastic card. Who wouldn't want to play this? Poxy with Archers Parapet? What the hell is that? 2 mana, 0/5 Wall Defender. Pay 2 mana tap. Each opponent loses 1 life. Journey of 1,000 miles. Or like, remember, in this theoretical format, it's possible everyone has like 1,000 life, just to compensate for the power level of the format. But you know what? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and that first step is done with Archer's Parapet. Kano with Reverse the Sands. Getting a lot of unique cards today. Okay, we have an 8 mana sorcery. Redistribute any number of players' life totals. What? Each of those players gets 1 life total back? What does that mean? How does this card even redistribute any number of players' life totals? Each of those players gets 1 life total back. Are we... Okay, is this card basically saying if there's like... let's say there's 400 life amongst all the players, that I can have like all of it and everyone else just gets 1? Is that how I'm understanding this card? You choose which player gets which life total when the spells resolve. You can't split up a life total when you redistribute it. For example, suppose that in a 2-player game, your life total is 5, your opponent's life total is 15. Reverse the Sands resolves. You can choose to A, leave the life totals as they are, or B, make your life total 15. Oh, we're just switching around. It's a switcheroo card. Basically switch. It's okay. I would not say this is the strongest, actually, in this format. I mean, it's basically just sort of like a weird life gain card. Because, like, overall, everyone's life totals are still... Like, the opponent's life totals are more or less the same. You just move them around a little bit. John with Arumi of the Dead Tide. Any Encore enablers? Arumi. Oh, it's a Merfolk. 3 mana, 1/4. Tap. Exile cards from the top from your graveyard equal to the number of opponents you have. Target creature card in your graveyard gains Encore until end of turn. The Encore cost is equal to its mana cost. Exile the creature card and pay its mana cost. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent if able to. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. This is just like some weird Myriad card. Exile cards from your graveyard equal to the number of opponents you have? What the hell? You're gonna need 1,000,000 cards in your... You need 100 cards in your graveyard. Okay, this is another one of those have 2,000 cards in your deck type of deck. That's a lot of cards. This card gets a lot harder to work. Okay, Daniel, I'm surprised nobody has said with Withengar Unbound. We have now. 7 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, unattach it and transform it into the 13/13 flying, intimidate, trample. When a player loses the game, put 13 +1/+1 counters on Withengar Unbound. I guess this technically gets better with more players at the table, because as more players lose the game, I would imagine this card still sucks. Like, it's so much work to get this 13/13 creature in play. And I imagine, like, and as we've seen, this format can make these enormous creatures that completely outclass this Withengar Unbound. Anywho's, Hexanort, Gilded Ambusher. We're going to be ambushing around here. 3 mana for 4/2. It's an alchemy card. Ugh. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another non-land permanent. When you do, each opponent exiles a non-land, non-token permanent they control, and a random non-land card from their library. Then Gilded Ambusher deals damage to them equal to the total mana value of the cards exiled this way. It's a very effective way of shooting a bunch of people at once. Lime, Thieves Auction! Did we do this one? Thieves Auction. No, I don't think we did. This is a red card. Sounds like a blue card. Thieves Auction, 7 mana sorcery. Set aside all cards in play. Oh my, what a disaster to resolve. Starting with you, each player chooses one of the cards set aside and puts it into play tapped under their control. Repeat this process until all those cards have been chosen. There is a 0% chance that everyone's going to get their cards back properly. Like, when you play this card, if you're in an environment with this card, you better have your own custom sleeves, because people are going to be mishmashing all the cards together. And there's definitely going to be 2 people at the table with, like, Dragon Shield Pearl sleeves or some crap like that. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dragon Shield. Yeah, what a nightmare to resolve this thing. Sean with Exsanguinate. We got a double black X sorcery. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. That's gonna be a lot of life. Okay, Giga Wicket. Have we done Rise of the Dark Realms? Nope. If you have, Dead of the Deathless. No, we'll do. Well, we just did Exsanguinate, that's for sure. The Rise of the Dark Realms for 9 mana. Sorcery. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. With great power comes great responsibility. Said Liliana, probably. Or she probably should have. Okay, we're going to look at more cards that are great in 100-player games. If anyone is crazy enough to even create that environment, well, we got to thank our sponsors today, FusionGamingOnline.com. My favorite place to buy my Magic the Gathering cards, especially if I am preparing for a 100-player game. We were just talking about sleeves to deal with these damn, what's it called, Thieves Auction games. You're gonna need to get something good, and they've got, you need to get something good, maybe something original. Get them at FusionGamingOnline.com with 20% off all sleeves. Do we see Final Fantasy up yet? You can pre-order. I'm pretty sure you can pre-order Final Fantasy at this point. And if you want to help support the channel, use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Your ability to play any deck, any format, anytime you want. And you could support the channel by renting on Magic Online using Mana Traders, using my Mana Traders coupon code Nikachu _ ZAX for 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription. Go Mana Traders. Play unlimited decks anytime you want. Any formats. It's good stuff. Okay, moving on. Nightmare Incarnation. Technically, Shieldred, the True Scriptures, gets a lot better. Technically. I have a feeling you like this card. I hate looking up Shieldred because there's so many of them. But this is... Okay, so I'm assuming you're saying the backside. Chapter 1. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker they control. Yup. That's good. Chapter 2, each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. That technically is also good. And then Chapter 3, put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, exile the True Scriptures, and then return it to the battlefield. Where have I seen that before? Where have I seen that before? It's on the tip of my tongue. No, I don't remember. I don't remember. It's very familiar. It's very familiar, though. Benjamin Berkey. Psychic Battle. The Battle of the Psychics. 5-mana enchantment. Whenever a player chooses one or more targets, each player reveals the top card of their library. The player who reveals the card with the highest converted mana cost may change the target or targets. If 2 or more targets are tied for the highest cost, the target or targets remain unchanged. This guy is going to do nothing. Whenever the player chooses one or more targets, each player reveals the top card of their library. Someone's going to tie, right? The player who reveals the card with the highest converted mana cost. Oh, I see. No, okay. So, no. It's basically you versus the world. But the world's going to win almost every time. So basically, you can't target. That's it. This is a fascinating card. It's very fascinating. Like, whoever casts a spell that targets a creature, they're never going to win this battle. It's a psychic battle that they're doomed to lose. Chris with the Warp World. When you said I should have imagined all the potential ETBs, you know, with Warp World, I should have gave a Nintendo sound effect for all the Nintendo fans. Using the warps, that was the coolest thing. You felt like you had some secret power, even though everyone knew about them. 8 mana, sorcery. Each player shuffles all permanents they own into the library, then reveals that many cards from the top of the deck. Each player puts all artifact creatures and land cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, and then does the same for enchantment cards, and puts all cards revealed this way that weren't put onto the battlefield on the bottom of their library. I actually think this card is probably... I don't know if this card actually gets better with a million people. Shuffle all permanents. I think it's just a new net neutral card. I don't think actually this card technically gets stronger. Bell with Blatant Thievery. So blatant, Bell. There's another Chris? Oh, there's a lot of Chris. There's a Christopher B, too. Blatant. Oh, okay, we have a sorcery. For each opponent, gain control of target permanent. Oh my god, the permanent that player control. I forgot it's permanence. I thought it was non-land permanents. You can swipe their lands. Although, if you have 7 mana, I don't know why you need 100 mana at this point. Okay, next up. Okay, we got to switch between the super chatters and the non-super chatters. Marcio with Dark Steel Splicer. 7 mana for a 1/1 Phyrexian Artificer. Whenever Dark Steel Splicer or another non-token Phyrexian enters the battlefield under your control, create X 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of opponents you control, and they're all indestructible. Sick card. Yeah, we need more Chris's in chat. Well, Chris is a pretty common name. Indiana Jones with Evacuation. Instant, return all creatures to their owner's hands. It's like... It will work. It will work. We'll just say that. It will work. Next, Super Chat. Barbara. I'm late today. Not sure if you did the Legion Loyalty. I think we did Legion Loyalty. Hold on. I'm pretty sure we did. We did. Barbara, if you have another card, let me know. I'll keep a lookout for it in chat. Otherwise, we're going to donate to 8 Hollow 8, the Hollow Marauder. Compliments of Barbara. We got a Spectre Rogue. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard with flying. And when it enters the battlefield, any number of target opponents each discard a card. For each of those opponents who didn't discard a card with mana value 4 or greater, we draw a card. Sick value. Remember, play a deck. You have to have like 1,000 cards. You better have multiple Reliquary Tower effects in your deck. Otherwise, this card's not going to work very well. William, the fun police. Counterbalance. Oh, yes. I wonder how long, if everyone has cards like this in a 100-player game, like how long on average does the game take? Like a week? 2 weeks? Just think of all the commander games you have. I mean, I guess in theory, there's like a bunch of people who are going to. Yeah, I mean, you need to have like a rule 0, no 2-card combos or something like that, because otherwise it wouldn't work very well. Okay, blue. Whenever a player plays a spell, you got to reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell if it has the same converted mana cost as the revealed card. Although people will, once you reveal for one player, everyone will know what you have. Oh my god, if you have Sensei's Divine Top at the same time, that'd be so disgusting. Blank page, make an example. Robert, you already sniped yourself. We did blatant thievery like 5 minutes ago. Make an example. 4 mana, sorcery. Each opponent separates the creatures they control into 2 piles. For each opponent, you choose one of those piles. Each opponent sacks the creatures of the pile of their choice. Sorry. Each opponent sacrifices the creatures in their chosen pile. Next up, we got Kagan. The card that inspired this, the Benediction of the Moons. Sorry, of moons. No, one. Benediction of moons. We're gonna get there. White sorcery. You gain 1 life for each player. Haunt. When the spell card is put into a graveyard after resolving, remove it from the game, haunting target creature. When the creature Benediction of Moons haunts is put into a graveyard, you gain 1 life for each player. Was this the card that inspired this show? I did write this down. I don't remember the card that inspired the show, but this definitely could be it. Karch wants Crypt Incursions. Yep, that works. Crypt Incursion. Man, a person can get a lot of life just off of 1 graveyard. 3 mana instant, exile all creature cards from target. Oh, it's only target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each. This actually doesn't work. I thought it was each player's graveyard. It's just 1 player's graveyard, so it doesn't actually get better with a lot of players. Spartan speedruns with Scoot Swarm. Does it get better? You know, it has to qualify. Probably not. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1. If you control 6 or more lands, no, this actually does not get better with extra people. There's no benefit to having extra people at the at the table. Is basically like what this show is about. Pedman, did you do this big long list of stuff? How about Tivit? Seller of Secrets. 6/6 Sphinx Rogue, Flying Ward 3. The Council's Dilemma. Enters the when Tivit enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. Basically, any voting card is pretty busted here. And then while voting, you may vote an additional time, as if it's gonna matter. Haha, I'm gonna have 1 extra vote in my 100 player to game. I bet the best vote is for investigate, and then someone plays Shatterstorm afterwards. Because there's no way you're gonna like cash in on all those tokens immediately. No way, never gonna happen. We got Steve Cooper, Repaying Kind. We must shorten the game down a lot. Yeah, we must make it quicker. 7 mana sorcery. Each player's life total becomes the lowest life total among all players. Well, but you do have to get at least 1 person down really small, which I think might be hard because in such a game, people are going to have these gigantic creatures that are very close to one-shotting everybody. Yeah, but it will be interesting. I mean, I guess I was about to say maybe you play Worldfire first, then Repaying Kind, but then that doesn't make any sense. But it's going to help. Felicia Tevesh. Teveshat, the Doom of Fools. What does it do? Okay, it's a 4 loyalty planeswalker. +2, create 2 thralls. +1, you may sack another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards. Then draw another card. If the sack permanent was a commander, then -10, gain control. Oh, gain control of all commanders. Put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under your control. You're crazy! You're playing 100-player commander. You're crazy. They're gonna attack you. They're gonna attack you immediately. You're gonna play Teveshat, and you're just gonna be enemy number 1. The odds of this ultimate happening, not very good. I mean, it's possible, especially, I don't know, if you play with Doubling Season and Proliferate, I guess it's possible. You basically got the first one. I gave it to you. I gave you the credit. Last thing, awaken the something. The erstwhile. 5-mana sorcery. Each player discards all cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Interesting. Very interesting. Steve Cooper, another donation with exquisite blood. Oh, is that like a no one? That was the last card was not the combo card. Exquisite blood, and you want to give one donation, which is totally fair. Barbara, you got another card here. I'm looking out for you, Barbara. Okay, 7-mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Sick. Please, anyone take damage. I need to cash in on it. Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, this is a donation thanks to Steve Cooper. Consecrated Sphinx. It was good in normal, Commander. At one point, where do you no, this is not a spy. Consecrated. There we go. Consecrated Sphinx. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. Imagine there are 2 players at the table. I mean, like, they'll be like, okay, let's just draw our entire deck. Let's keep drawing until we hit Reliquary Tower. You good? Good. Let's do it. How does Alabaster Leech actually help? No, hold on. This is a joke. You're pulling my chain here. Pulling my chain. Who has no card at all? Oh, now Christopher B changes his tune to no 2 cards. Yeah, Crowcar Games, the Celestial Toymaker. I think the guy's more creepy than the doll. 3-mana 2/4. Whenever the Toymaker attacks, live the top 3 cards of your library. Exile any number of them in a face-down pile and the rest in a face-up pile. Defending player chooses one of those piles. Put that pile into your hand. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses 2 life for each spell or ability that caused one or more players to guess. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses 2 life for each spell or ability that caused one or more players to guess or to group cards or permanents into a pile this turn. What the hell? This sounds like an awful card to resolve. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just looks terrible. Next up, Yogman. The Shared Fate for total insanity. This is an enchantment. If a player would draw a card, that player removes the top card of an opponent's library from the game face down instead. Oh, everyone could agree to just get rid of somebody. Each player may look at that card, look at and play cards they remove from the game with Shared Fate as though they were in their hand. Oh, I get. Okay, so you actually can't deck somebody. So I was thinking, all right, everyone, let's choose Herald. Herald, everyone take cards from Herald's deck, but then when they need to draw from their deck, they can choose somebody else's deck to exile a card because they're sharing the fate. But then you can destroy the shared fate, and then Herald loses miserably. Oh boy, you don't got a card. Breach of the Multiverse. Each player mills 10 cards. Then for each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card from the graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Then each creature you control becomes a Phyrexian. Oh, I think we did this one, to be honest. I could be wrong. There might be another card like this. Either we did this card already, or there was like a card super similar to this card. Larry Law with Mutalith Vortex Beast. What is this? 6 mana for a 6/6 beast. Trample with the Warp Vortex. When Mutalith Vortex Beast enters the battlefield, flip a coin for each opponent you have. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, Mutalith Beast deals 3 damage to that player. Sick. We're gonna do something to everybody. Everyone's gonna take 3 damage, or I'm gonna draw a card. And statistically, I should draw 50. Next, let's get Well, Robert, we unfortunately we did this one. We did Blatant Thievery. We did it like 5 minutes before you made the super chat. So we're going to donate this one to Chargin' Badger, Blood Tyrant. It's a 5/5 vampire with flying and trample. It's a good combination. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player loses 1 life. Put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Tyrant for each 1 life lost this way. Sick card. And then whenever a player loses the game, put 5 +1/+1 counters on Blood Tyrant. I don't really feel like that's good value. I think if you kill somebody, it probably should be worth like, I don't know, 25 counters in this type of game. Yeah, I see your second super chat, Robert. All right, Rasputin. The something Rasputin. Is there a lot of Rasputins in this game? I guess there's a second one. Okay, there's a 3-mana 4/1 wizard, human wizard. When it enters the battlefield, put a dream counter on it for each opponent you have. Each opponent creates a 1/1 red goblin creature token. Okay, tap, remove 1 or more dream counters from Rasputin. Add that much mana. Holy moly! So we can have 100 mana available immediately. You can cast the entire Eldrazi Titan team. The whole team of Titans. Tap, remove a dream counter from Rasputin. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token with protection from red. This is... But the first ability is great. Absolutely. Super great. The big squig with Selvala. Explorer returned. Everyone having fun today? I'm having fun. This is a 3-mana 2/4 Elf Scout with Parlay. Tap, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, add green and you gain 1 life. Then each player draws a card. Sick. It's a win-win all around. Super win-win all around for everybody. I think did we do Rise of the Dark Realms? Drakholy. Rise of the Dark. Isn't that the Liliana card? We did that one. Sorry about that. Let's move on to a super chat from Lemonade. Debt to the debtless. Not sure if it's been said. You never know. But we have not said this one. Okay, this is a 4-mana X sorcery. Each opponent loses 2 times X life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. And that's going to be a lot of life. We might get straight up to 1,000 here. What is this? Argentina says turn 1 limited resources. They'd be like, shouldn't there have been a ban list? As long as there are 10 or more lands, players cannot play lands. Yeah, basically, you would win through rage quitting. That's right. They just okay, well, I'm not going to play the game, so I might as well leave. Everyone can have fun duking it out. Anyone with no card yet? Voltlen limited. Oh, you're the one. Okay, well, let's say I'll just say you got credit for this card. You can have another card, Voltlen. Mix it with Boon Reflection. Sounds miserable. What next do we have here? Who else has no card yet? Or maybe everyone has a card yet at this point. We're going to move on to no 2 cards yet. Oh, Baxter doesn't have a card. Okay, Benthic Anomaly. Try again. Rise of the Dreadmart. Okay, I'll try. Okay, this is Benthic Anomaly is a 7/8 Eldrazi Serpent with the Void. When you cast this spell for each opponent, choose a creature that player controls. Create a token that's a copy of one of those creatures, except its power and toughness are each equal to the power of those creatures. Its toughness is equal to the toughness of those creatures, and it's a colorless Eldrazi. Oh, you do this for each opponent? Absolute banger. Okay, so Dracoli wants not Rise of the Dark Realms, Rise of the Dreadmaw. Sorry, Dreadmarn? I'm just gonna look up Rise of the Dread, see what happens. 3-mana instant. Create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn at instant speed. In response to your board wipe, I will bring the Rise of the Dreadmarn. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know what any of that means. Okay, next super chat. Let's get a super chat from Elixir. Telepathy. Telepathy. You want to know what's in everybody's hand for an ultra slow experience? Oh, yeah. How to make this commander game go for like 3 months long. Telepathy, blue. Your opponents play with their hands revealed. Everyone's like looking at everyone's hand. Now, how would this work? People would be getting up to walk around. I don't even know what this table even looks like. I imagine it like in school where everyone takes their desk and then makes a circle. That's how I envision this. So everyone's gonna like get up from their desk to go around and look at everybody's hand. What do you got? What do you got? Everyone got something. All right, we're now on to no 2 cards yet at this point. Portcullis by Argentina. The creature version? The creature version of... This is not a creature, this is an artifact. Or is it another creature? No. Well, there is a creature, but it doesn't do it. Artifact, whenever any creature comes into play, if there are 2 or more other creatures in play, set that creature aside. Oh, I see. And if Portcullis leaves play, put the creature into play under its owner's library. God, yeah, it is the limited resources for creatures. Limited resources for creatures. No, you don't need a redemption. You accidentally, you should have got credit actually for that last one. So let's get your Sage of the Ancient Lore. I think you got in that limited resource before other people did. This is a hilarious concept for a stream, Nikachu. Thank you. I laughed so fast after watching for less than 30 seconds. Oh, it's a hoot. Sage of the Ancient Lore. It doesn't exist. Is it Sage of Ancient Lore? We always sneak in those thes when they're completely irrelevant. Ugh. It is Sage of Ancient. I do the same mistake all the time. Human, Shaman, Werewolf. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand, which could be 1,000,000 in this format. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card at the beginning of upkeep. If there are no spells cast last turn, we are absolutely transforming this card into Werewolf with Vigilance and Trample. Power and toughness are each equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands. It's gonna be a big doggy. And then at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Werewolf of the Ancient Hunger. May not stick there for forever. That's the only problem. Kagan with Wernog. Riders Chaplain. Charlie Chaplin. 2 mana for a 1/2 human. Enters or leaves the battlefield. Each opponent may investigate. Each opponent who doesn't loses 1 life. You investigate X times, where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who investigated this way. Huh? Each opponent may investigate. Each opponent who doesn't loses 1 life. Oh, I get it. Okay, so if they don't investigate, they lose 1 life. This card is not worded very well, but if they do investigate, then you get to investigate X times, where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who investigated this way. Little confusing, you know? I had to read that twice. Sometimes I have to read the cards 3 times. Julio with the second card, Predatory Hunger. Is this when they sell popcorn and a drink for like $20 at the movie theaters? Whenever an opponent successfully casts a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. It's gonna be a big creature. They grew up so fast. Wandering Picked, Tempt with Vengeance. Red and an X. Tempting offer. Create X11 red elemental creature tokens with haste. Each opponent may create X11 red elemental creature tokens with haste. For each opponent who does, creates X11 red elemental creature tokens with haste. I think this card could backfire. Well, again, people might be greedy as hell. Because remember, they may make the tokens. If they don't, you get nothing. Or I guess you get the X that you originally had. But then again, there's always people that are like, I need a chump blocker. If not, I can't block this creature that's going to kill me. So, you know, a good chunk of people are just going to give you the token anyway. It's just how it is. Let's get a super chat from Bell. Insight. More players, higher probability. Damn, there's a lot of cards called Insight. That's an enchantment. Whenever one of your opponents plays a green spell, you draw a card. All right. It's basically the a sure thing Ristic Studies versus green decks. This card looks good. Like, what are the odds? No, I think it's probably worth having in your deck, no? Whenever one of your opponents plays a green spell, you draw a card. Like, seriously. Like, even in Commander, what are the odds no one's playing green? Nobody. But no, obviously needs a card. Oh, you have no card yet. Seer Conrad. We have to look out for our fellow dark magical girl. Okay, 5 mana, 5/4 human knight. Whenever another creature dies or a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad deals 1 damage to each opponent. Then for 2 mana, each player mills a card. You're gonna mill them out. If you have infinite mana, you can mill everybody out, and they'd be dead. Anyone else thinks Tetris 99 style Magic Battle Royale would be a neat idea? I don't know. If priority doesn't exist, maybe. But I don't know what kind of game that looks like. That just sounds like absolute insanity. Bojack Yellow Compost. In pods with players who know what they're doing, Insight is better than Ristic Study. Yeah, because they can't avoid it. 2 mana, you'll draw a card off of Compost. Whenever a black card is put into an opponent's graveyard, you may draw a card. That's value. Big time value. If at least 40 players mill a creature, that's 40 damage. Oh, that's crazy. It's a lot of stuff. Marcio, rule of law, because you actually get to play next turn before tomorrow. Rule of law. Zach, oh, that's an interesting perspective. So this will force people to play faster. I think, maybe not, or because each player can cast more than 1 spell each turn. So either this is going to force people to do 1 thing quickly, or it might slow the game down because people have only 1 thing to do. So they'll be like, okay, I have to make this 1 thing count. So, but it may or may not help at all. Islarf, Time Shifter. Sorry, Time Sifter. The Sifter of Time. Artifact. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, each player removes the top card of the library from the game. The player who removes the card with the highest converted mana cost takes an extra turn after this one. Oh, God. If 2 or more players are tied for the highest cost of the tied player, repeat this process until the tie is broken. Each player's upkeep, they're removed from the game. Okay, hold on. This is like an interesting win condition almost. So if you play with a 1,000 card deck and everyone else is playing with 60 card decks, might be like a 1 card win condition. Because people are constantly going to be exiling cards from the top of their library until they die. It's an interesting card. At the beginning of each player's upkeep. And then even if other people take extra turns, again, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, we're going to remove cards from the top of the game. Each upkeep, I don't think you would make it through. Yeah, exactly. I think this card actually could be the most broken of all the cards. It's a pretty broken card. Okay, let's get through the super chats. Marcio, Unwinding Clock. Because mana rocks. Hopefully none of these got sniped at this point. 4 mana artifact. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. You better believe... What's it called? What's that? Simic card that lets you play flash cards and untap your creatures every turn and lands, I think. Super broken in this format. Kagan, good setup with Fractured Sanity. Probably. Each opponent mills 14 cards. When you cycle Fractured Sanity, each opponent mills 4 cards. Maybe. Well, you super chat, so I'm gonna say yes. So I guess if you have a mass milling strategy, then you absolutely have to play it with a card like this. Otherwise, the other strategy ain't gonna work. Zer's Weirding. Here's Telepathy on crack 2. What's it with you and telepathy cards? Players play with the hands revealed. If the player would draw a card, they reveal the card instead. Then any player may pay 2 life. If a player does, put that card into its owner's graveyard. Otherwise, that player draws the card. Imagine. Anyone to pay 2 life? Anyone? Does anyone want to pay 2 life? They got a heuristic study on top of their deck. Something like that. Okay, Kagan, why not Canal Dredger? It's a good question. Why not? Unless I don't get draft. 4 mana, 1/5. Drafted face up. Is a 100 player draft possible? I guess so if everyone has 3 booster packs. Tap, but like nothing will ever come around. Like never. It'll just go one direction and it's gone. Each player passes the last card from each booster pack to a player who drafted a card named Canal Dredger. And then tap, put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Hey, I'm gonna count that like I'm gonna count this like a super chat. Then anyone else who didn't get a card? Arthur says, I don't know. It seems some of those cards were not intended to be played with 100 players. Well, do you know what? For science, it should be done. Oh, we did Adeline. Unfortunately, Arrow. We did Adeline. It's been done. Anyone else with no card yet? We did Time Sifter. We did Adeline. Oh, you're getting redeemed? Okay, Gold Lust Triad. Arrow's like, no! I've been trying so hard on this damn Adeline thing. It's a 5 mana dragon flying. Oh, with Myriad. Yeah, basically any card with Myriad. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Oh, you're gonna get 1,000,000 treasures because you made 1,000,000 Gold Lust Triads. That is some good coin. Bryce gonna continue the show where it's not over until it's over. And Bryce is gonna say when it's over. Dockside Extortionist. Of course, this would get better. What if nobody plays with artifacts though? Huh? Got him. I can imagine someone being salty about this. I go like, does anyone have artifacts? I got the stupid Dockside in a 100 player game. No one's playing artifacts. What's my luck? 2 mana, 1/2 Goblin Pirate. ETB, create X treasure tokens, where X is number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. I guess they could have enchantments too. Okay, Arrow's gonna try for a Gate Instigator. I'm gonna redeem your set. You're gonna get Redemption. It's a lizard. It's a 2 mana, 1/3 lizard with Offspring for 2 mana. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever another creature you control enters, you smack everyone for 1 damage. 1 creature, 100 damage, basically. All right, cool. Hope that was fun. I had fun, and hopefully you did too. Magic cards are great with 100 players, and if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be here or be square. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, we got to thank the Coffee crew, the Zyber Nation here today, Benovsky, Arrow, we got B-Boops, Old Boy, John, Steve Cooper, Christopher, B, The Big Squig, Little Deadfly, Jack, Solaris, Bell, Benjamin Berkey. We got Daniel. We got Jess. Arrow's here. Chris. Chris, Spectral Maniac, Wandering Pig, Julio, Marcio. So where would I be without all of you? So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees, and we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.